And I'm back in the Reniverse. I think that you all maybe have recommended this like 1,000 times, that I need to listen to the busking with Sam Tompkins and Ren. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm also thinking that Thursdays might become my Ren day for a while into the future. I've got so much Ren stuff to catch up on, and he keeps releasing new stuff. And then on top of that, I think I'm just going to start doing on different days of the week some reactions to some of the Renegade orbital artists. Like earlier on in the week, I reacted to Scarlett Faye, who was one of the background singers in Back on 74, which Ren did, which I was blown away by. So go show her some love if you haven't seen that reaction already. Here's a couple other housekeeping things here. Next one is the Patreon. I was asking in the community page for some ideas of better chat options for you all, and you recommended I start a Patreon. I did that. I've got 2 free chats available over there. One that's a Ren and Friends chat, which is where I got the recommendation to react in particular to this busking song of Sam Tompkins and Ren. And then I have another chat, which is for all reactions and stuff like that. And then I've got another chat, which I'm calling the Ambassador Circle. And this is really like my inner circle. This is for those of you that consider yourselves hardcore fans of artists and want to be more deeply connected and help me pick out songs into the future. Once I get 50 people into that group, then I'm going to start having that group vote on selections of things I react to, and then I'll do it, whatever the vote is. So if you want to really bend my ear and get involved in helping me pick the next songs, come join the Ambassador Circle. We're going to have some fun community over there. I'm super excited. It's already started. So without further ado, I'm going to listen all the way through. This is going to be a long one because this is a long video already. There's like 3 songs stuck together, I think. So I'm going to listen all the way through, react to it, and then go back and break down everything I'm hearing. So stay tuned, grab your popcorn, let's dig in. Here we go.
You make it look like it's magic, cause I see nobody but you. You leave me confused. Hey, I'm so used to being you. So I love when you call unexpected, cause I hate when I'm always expected. I'ma care for you. I'ma care for you. Hey, cause girl, you're perfect. You're always worth it. And you deserve it. The way you're working. Girl, you earned it. Girl, you earned it. No, you know our love would be tragic. So you don't pay no mind. We living no lies. Hey, and you're my favorite kind of night. So I love when you call unexpected, cause I hate when I'm always expected. I'ma care for you. And I'ma care for you. Hey, cause girl, you're perfect. You're always worth it. And you deserve it. The way you're working. Girl, you earned it. Earned it. No, mean nothing without a woman or a girl. Don't you know the man made a car, take him over the road? Man made the train to carry the heavy load. Don't you know the man made the electric light, take him out of the door? Hey, walked on fire, just like no one could be. It's a man's world. Man's world. But it wouldn't mean nothing. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I feel blue. At times I feel broken, at times I feel used.
What?
Loving you, darling, makes me confused, and I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I never loved someone the way that I love you. I never felt this way. You give me so much pleasure, show me so much pain. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
What? Oh my God. Wow. Wow. I keep saying wow all the time. I'm sorry. That's like, I'm noticing it editing these videos. I'm just like, easily wowed sometimes. Oh my God, especially by Ren stuff. Woo! Let's go, Ren! So it's Sam Tompkins. All right, first impressions. I mean, I have so much in my head. We're going to go back and break down everything, all right? But just first impressions real quick, just grabbing. Sam Tompkins' voice, his versatility, the height of his voice, that sexy warmth, his agility. He's got a little bit of like Maxwell mixed with Justin Timberlake mixed with like old throwback soul singers. Like, wow. Gorgeous sound. Ren's voice is all over the place in this. We've got some falsetto. We've got some scratchy grit power singing. We've got this super low, rich resonant sound, which is this great contrast to what Sam Tompkins is doing. We've got some cool guitar, chill vibes. We've got some looping, a little looping there at the end, and then he's soloing over top of it. There is a ton going on here. Wow. I see why you all wanted me to watch this one first. This was electric. What a great introduction to Sam Tompkins. What a beautiful singer. His agility is off the charts. His riffing, his tone quality. Woo! All right, I'm going to go back. I got to just start breaking this down. Let's go back now. I think this, by the way, is maybe my 12th Renegade song that I've reacted to, or Ren and Friends song that I've reacted to. Go check out my playlist if you haven't seen it already. I've got them all stringed out together. All right, here we go. So notice how chill and understated his tone is right now. He's very chill, very little mouth activation. Yeah. He's got a little bit of a husky sound, not too breathy, but not too brassy, just a nice even tone. Little little creaky door grit false chord activation in the sound.
Oh, shit. You make it look like it's magic.
Hear that little look like, those little riffs. He's putting them in everywhere. His agility and improvisation in his voice is sick. It's off the charts.
'Cause I see nobody but you.
So he's in this intimate, warm, invitational, introspective tone. He's not pushing it too hard yet. This is just very airflowy and nice.
You leave me confused. Hey, I'm so used to being you.
Did you notice that tone quality change as he got brassier and got bigger in the top part of his voice? So he's doing this stuff that Ren does a lot too, where it's like he's intimate, introspective, has some warmth in his tone. Then he switches to some brass. Then he switches back to the warmth. And now he's also throwing in, he's throwing in all that high weekendy stuff too. But he's got this sweetness to his tone up there. It's so clean the way he accesses it. It reminds me a lot of Maxwell. If you've ever heard Woman's Work by Maxwell, the way that he accesses his upper register, it's very similar to the way that Sam's using his voice at times here. He's got that clean, pointy tone up there that's perfectly in tune. Let's listen to all of these transitions here.
Body but you.
See, that's warm.
You leave me confused.
Now he's going to get brassy. Brassy.
I'm so used to being you.
Now we're going up.
So I love when you call unexpected.
Oh, that's so sexy, isn't it? Ah, woo! That is some sexy voice right there. Sam. Damn, dude. I'm a fan. That is beautiful. He's got such a nice tone up in that register.
So I love when you call unexpected.
Did you notice how Ren gave him a little time there? He didn't push the tempo at all. He just let a little bit of rubato come in. Rubato is where you don't stick quite to the tempo, but you leave a little space for things to happen. What a great thing Ren did right there.
'Cause I hate when I'm always expected. I'ma care for you.
He's way up high, then then he just drops right down like it's no big deal. Oh, such great versatility in his tone, just like Ren.
I'ma care for you. Hey.
I love his tone. I love his tone. He could sing the phone book. His tone is so good. It's so beautiful.
'Cause girl, you're perfect. You're always worth it. And you deserve it. The way you're working.
Do you hear in that moment how Ren's tone is different from Sam's tone? Ren's got a little more bite. He's got a little more pressure. He's got a little more brass and punch in his tone. Sam's still in his little sexy, warm, a little bit sultry type of a tone there. Do you hear the contrast of that? Listen.
You're always worth it, and you deserve it. The way you're working,
And Ren's just doing all that stuff on the fly there and playing guitar too. I have to tell you, it's really hard to sing well when you're playing an instrument improvisationally. I used to play piano bars a lot, and I would listen back when I first started, and I was like, damn, I don't sound as good when I'm playing piano bar. What's the problem? And what happens is some of the brain power, some of your CPU of your thinking is going to your hands or the guitar when you're playing, and you don't realize how much of it's going there. And then you'll miss little notes here and there when you're singing. At least that's what happened to me when I started until I worked on it. Ren doesn't miss any notes when he's accompanying himself. He still is perfectly in tune and has just as much facility in his singing as he does when he's not accompanying himself.
earned it. Girl, you earned it. No, you know.
This little guitar stuff that Ren is doing right here where he's muting it, what he's doing there is he's muting the strings with a palm mute. A palm mute causes the strings to not fully vibrate, so you just get a little pizzicato type of an effect on the strings. Pizzicato is plunk, plunk. When you hear an orchestra where they're plunking their strings on their instrument, that's the same thing here. We're getting this very like staccato type of a sound from the guitar, almost like a muted harp or something. What a really cool effect. Listen for that in the guitar there. You get that again by what's called a palm mute.
Our love would be tragic.
So you can see on Ren's hand there, on the hand that he's strumming with, he's putting the palm on the strings on the bottom, and that's causing them to not fully vibrate.
So you don't pay no mind.
Whenever you're playing songs live when you're doing covers, it's really important to create diversity in the way that you accompany your singing, or if you're accompanying another singer, the singer you're accompanying, you change up the accompaniment so that it's not just one-dimensional the whole way. We live in a world where everyone is competing for our attention. So as artists, we have to keep it interesting moment by moment. One of the ways we do that is by, when we're accompanying someone, we have a different accompaniment idea for the verse of the song. We change it up a little bit when we get to the chorus. We have something different for verse 2 than we had for verse 1. Stuff like that, you know? So notice how Ren is just changing up whatever accompaniment concepts he wants to use from moment to moment in the song throughout all of these songs.
We live in no lies. Hey, hey, hey. And you're my favorite kind of night. So I love when you call unexpected.
He has such control of his registration, up and down in his voice.
'Cause I hate when I'm always expecting.
Oh!
I'ma care for you. And I'ma care for you. Hey.
What's he doing with his life right now? Who is this? Jeez.
'Cause girl, you're perfect. Girl, you're perfect. You're always worth it. Always worth it. And you deserve it. You deserve it. The way you're working. Girl, you earned it.
I love when they do the little trade-off, the little call and response. By the way, notice Ren is standing back from his mic a little bit when Sam is up close. He's really trying to let Sam have the feature here. He's really being his humble Ren self and allowing Sam to take center here. Because you notice when he sings later on and he starts off with Man's World as a solo, he comes right up and he's like, okay, this is my time. And by the way, I think when he started Man's World low like that, I think it was a contrast to Sam singing so high. He's like, okay, you guys have heard some high singing for a while. Now let's bring in some low stuff.
No.
I love Sam's little improvisation as he knows that Ren is transitioning over to Man's World. This is like little behind-the-scenes music-y stuff here. He's like, oh, you're transitioning now. That's what he's thinking. He's like, ooh. He's just doing some like little emotional riffing stuff. All right, here we go. So he starts it off with brass. He's got a decent amount of compression. Again, if you remember what I talked about with compression, compression is the cinching of the pharynx. The pharynx is the space above the larynx, right inside of your throat. You can cinch it and create a pressure buildup in your singing. And when you create that pressure buildup, it gives you the opportunity to activate grit in your voice, which is what Ren is doing right there. The first sound out of his mouth, he has a decent amount of squeeze, but not so much that we have those gritty, creaky door sounds coming in. His first sound is just brass. Then he transitions after that into a really false chord activated sound, a really gritty sound on the way down after the big brassy high note. Listen for that.
This is a man.
That's squeezy. That's brass. That's that brassy sound.
This is a man's world.
So that's where he's doing the false chord activation at a higher level. When you turn the compression dial up enough, that's when you activate the extra vibratory surfaces coming into the sound. Like that right there. I'm really activating my false chords, which Ren has amazing control of that. He can turn it on, turn it off, and I don't feel like I need to tell you how hard that is to do. Try it yourself. Can you do that sound? And by the way, this is one of those things where people are like, oh my God, oh, you're just talented. You're just a good singer. I'm not. It's not like that. You can learn how to do these coordinations. It's kind of my life's work. Like, all of this is buildable. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to get to a place where you can do it like Ren or like Sam. You have to put in an insane amount of time, and you also have to be a creative artist who's got something to say. But as from a coordination standpoint, you can build these coordinations as a singer. It's true.
This is a man's world.
Ah!
But it wouldn't mean nothing.
Oh, talk about sexy tone, right? But it wouldn't mean nothing. He just drops right down into the bass, the depth of his voice. How do you get that sound? If he was singing like he was before, how does he do that? How does he switch? Well, you open your throat a little bit. You have a little, almost like yawning space in the back of your throat. You activate a little bit more thickening of the chords with air pressure. Bop, 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 bop. You activate that type of a sound. Ren can do it. Ren does it in such cool, clever ways and such tasteful ways, too. Wasn't it awesome for him to drop down at that moment? We've been hearing such high voice singing the whole time up to this point. So wasn't it this amazing reveal and a shock to the audience to share that sound there?
Without a woman or a girl.
Everybody in the audience was like, damn, what's happening at that moment? I know you can't see the crowd, but I can feel it. Were any of you there in this moment? That would be amazing if you were. Leave it in the comments if you were.
Don't you know the man made a car to take him over the road?
I love this tone of Ren's here, this depth of tone. Where else does he use this more? Like, this is the most baritone-y, open-throaty, resonant, brassy singing I've heard him do in this way. He did some lower voice stuff in How to Be Me, the duet with Chinchilla, but not with this much beef and resonance in his voice.
Man made the train.
He sounds like an old soul gospel singer or something.
To carry the heavy load.
It's not common that somebody who can do what they're doing in the low voice like Ren is doing there can jump up and do what he's doing in the high voice like that. That's not common. Ren is, and you've heard me say this before, a vocal shapeshifter. He can move his voice all over the place. He can be high and in that sultry, sexy, falsetto, scratchy tone. He can be low in that baritone-y, almost gospel type of a depth of tone. Then he gets up and he gets gritty with a little bit of that James Brown squeeze on his voice. I mean, it's good stuff. Really good stuff.
Maybe let you take him out of the door.
He has had like 3 different voices in the last 3 phrases. He had the low voice, and he had the high, then he had the gritty, and then he's off like... If you notice, his falsetto use here has more, there's like more focus to the tone than the falsetto he was using in Back on 74. If you remember, in Back on 74, there was a little bit more airflow allowance through the tone up there. This tone is more focused and ringy. Back on 74. He had more airflow in the sound here. Ooh, he's got more focus in the tone here. Same with Sam. Sam's got a little more focus in his falsetto up there, which is what made me think about Maxwell. That's his brass tone.
Take you out of the door.
See, that was focused more. Focused. Wow. So you can hear that's a little more focused, right? Oh, and then he comes off of it with this man's world, a little more huskiness, a little more airflow in the tone. One thing I have to point out about both of these dudes, their pitch accuracy is insane. There's like nothing out of tune here, and they're riffing all over the place, improvisationally. That's hard to do. Oh, that tone.
But it wouldn't mean nothing. I keep on falling.
Oh.
In and out of love with you.
Oh, that was so good. If you know the Alicia Keys riff from that song, I keep on falling in and out of love. Like, he did such a great adaptation to that super famous riff right there. And it's great. Like, this is one of the things I talk about all the time with my students. If you do a cover, you want to make it creative. You don't just want to replicate what the artist did when you do the cover. Unless, here's the unless you're really just working on studying voice in that moment. There are some times where I'm working with a student and I'll give them a song that I want them to do a cover of as a replica cover, which is like literally I want them to copy every riff, every tone quality, and try to absorb and assimilate the ability to do those things. But if you're a performing artist, you should be holding yourself to the standard of not doing it the way the original artist did it, but you should be doing it in your own way. You should be adding in your own stuff, your own tone quality choices, your own extra embellishments and riffs and notes, your own take on phrasing and interpretation and instrumental arrangement to it. Hold yourself to another level. That's how you get to stay innovative as an artist, and that's how you actually build a following. So you do a couple creative covers, get people following you, and then flip over and do some of your original work. That's the secret. That's what Ren's doing and what he's already done so brilliantly.
Sometimes I love you. Sometimes I feel blue.
If you notice, Sam is definitely more of a tenor than Ren is. The categorization of singing, I would say Ren's more of like a baritone. That's what they would call it in the world of, basically in the world of musical theater, you'd call him a baritone. In the world of opera, vocal categorization is much different. So there's a bunch of different ways to categorize voice. I'm not going to get into it all here, but in choral music, you categorize a certain way. In opera, you categorize a certain way. In musical theater, you categorize a certain way. And in pop singing, you don't really categorize that much. But if we were to categorize these two guys, Sam's voice is definitely higher than Ren's voice.
At times I feel broken. At times I feel used.
That sound up there. He's good. I can't wait to listen to more of him. Why is he famous? He should be famous if he's not famous. Is he like a big artist now? What's his thing?
Loving you, darling, makes me confused.
I love that look he gave Ren there. He's like, love. When he hit that moment, that sounded so good right there.
Loving you, darling, makes me confused, and I keep on falling in and out.
when he started beatboxing, I was like, what is happening? Red, it's just, he just so playfully changes between all of these different artistic skills that he has. Singing high, singing low, singing with grit, playing guitar this way, playing guitar that way, doing some beatboxing, doing some rapping, doing some acting, right? Like, he's just so playful with his artistry. I love that. That's what's so infectious about him, or at least one of the many things.
Of love with you, I never loved someone.
I feel like I could stop every phrase and say about 5 minutes of stuff, which I'm not going to do. Maybe I'll do a deep cut reaction to this at some point and just break down all of the stuff they're doing. There's so much happening here.
The way that I love you.
So did you hear how ringy and focused that is? Again, that takes me back to Maxwell. Like that's, you know, he didn't have a lot of air or huskiness in it. He was just focused. Look at how many people are here for this little busking concert. That's crazy, right? It'd be so fun to be walking in Central Park in New York and see these guys doing this.
I never felt this way.
So if you notice right here, Ren looped the boom, 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 boom. He looped that arpeggiated chord. Arpeggiated means that you take a chord, which is like multiple notes played at once, and you don't play them all at once, but you boom, boom, boom. You play them out one at a time. Ren looped that level, and now he's soloing with a little more distortion on his guitar over top of that loop. Listen for that.
You give me so much pleasure. Show me so.
See, if you notice, he's soloing, but the boom, 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 the arpeggiated chord is still going in the back. That's looping. And if you watch one of my other videos, I talk about that. I'm a big fan of looping. It's a big part of my music making right now.
So much pain. Keep on falling.
Sam's voice is just so beautiful and sexy. I love it. I just keep saying the word sexy. It's like he's got such a warm, his tone is great. It's
In and out of love with you. Someone the way that I love you.
Now here comes the distorted guitar solo. Yeah! I'm trying to see what looper that is. It's like one of those Boss. I have a Boss tabletop 505 MK2 looper. It's like the newest one that came out. I think this might be the foot pedal version of that. It's cool because a lot of the guitar and vocal effects are actually built into the looper. I love how experimental Ren was getting here with his guitar. He's just doing some like old throwback. He's just vibing out. And then Sam was sitting over there like, wait, I better let him finish what he's doing here before I start coming in vocally. You see that little, you know, when you're a musician, you can really kind of see the unspoken conversations that are happening between musicians a lot. That's such a normal thing that's happening with musicians, especially with like jazz musicians. Like jazz musicians have whole nonverbal conversations between each other on stage. You can see Sam's doing that a little bit here. So as a musician, a lot of times what you're doing when you're performing with other people is you're handing off the attention to the other person, and then they hand the attention back to you. The attention of the audience, basically. You control where the audience is focusing. And so Ren is so good at that. He's so gracious of that, giving Sam the stage, giving him the spotlight. And then he takes it over here very gracefully. Then he gives it back. These two have such an intuitive ability between each other. The same thing was happening too in Bongo Bong, if you notice from the performance I reacted to of The Big Push. Same thing. There's such an intuitive give and take between the musicians. They're really experimenting here. I like this. Ren's playing with some big reverby sounds on the guitar with little delay effects in there. This is so they just end it sort of faded out in that ethereal way. I love the way that they shaped the expression of these three songs. And these three songs are great together. We've got The Weeknd, we've got James Brown, we've got Alicia Keys. All of these songs fit really nicely together in vibe, don't they? This sort of R&B throwback soul vibe. Wow, that was so fun to listen to. Well, I'm going to be listening, obviously, to some more busking videos. I've got the busking videos. I've got the Big Push. I've got Ren's solo stuff. I've got Ren with other artists. Then I've got the artists that are orbital artists around Ren. Come over and join me on the Patreon chat, please. I am so thankful to have help picking these songs. There's so much to do and so many songs to pick. It's really overwhelming where to start. And this is just for Ren. Like, I've got a bunch of other artists as well. So I really appreciate the community that I've already been getting over on Patreon, and I can't wait to have more of you come over and join the talks. And also, the Ambassador Circle is going to be really fun too. You know, I chose the name Ambassador because it was about, you know, being an ambassador for the artists that you love. Like, this is a chance to influence and bend my ear to get me to react to things to hopefully help people. I really do think that we got some new subscribers for Scarlet Faye when I did that reaction to her stuff, because I noticed her numbers went up. And I was like, oh my God, that made me feel so good about this channel, that even though I've just started a few months ago, with the growth that we've had up to this point, I'm able to do a little bump to an artist's following and sort of push out and help them and stuff. That gives me, talk about goosebumps, like that gives me goosebumps that that's a possibility with this channel. Just imagine once it gets bigger and bigger, you know, how much more of an impact we can have. And that's where the Ambassador Circle that I'm working on is so important, because then you can help me, like, really help people, you know, help me, help them. If you remember Jerry Maguire, old Tom Cruise movie. Anyway, all right. Thanks so much for watching if you got this far. I know this was a long one, but man, it was a lot of fun for me to shoot. I hope it was fun for you to watch. Subscribe, like, leave comments. I'm still reading the comments even though I have the Patreon. I'm just having a blast doing this with you all. And thanks so much for listening and stopping by. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.